Good morning, team. Jeff Nail here, reporting live as per usual. I got the baritone going on. I don't know if my voice hasn't completely transitioned from sleep to to being awake. However, we'll go with it. I wanted to talk about something today. Well, first of all, I apologize. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Um, I wanted to talk today about friend requests and the way we connect on social media. This is a conversation that I have behind the scenes on a regular basis, and I'm open to getting some feedback here. But I'm gonna share my opinion, believe it or not. So so take that for what it is. Take that for what it's worth. Um, I feel that we are too. Like I'm gonna use a scientific word here. I feel like we are too loosey goosey with the way we connect with strangers on social media. Um, and I say this with a grain of salt because I believe it is like absolutely amazing to be able to connect with people that we don't already know, build relationships, get to know people, increase our network, increasing our networking abilities. However, connecting with people for the sole purpose of connecting is worthless. And I have heard social media gurus talk about how you should just connect with everybody, because it builds your network and it increases your reach. But I feel like it is an absolute counterproductive idea to connect with everyone who wants to connect. I think it leads to dissatisfaction with your energy. I think it leads to dissatisfaction with the what's the word here? With the quality of your network. I think these people are more likely to complain about the toxicity of social media because by connecting with just anyone and not, truly, as I always say, policing your news feed, you're more likely to see things that don't bring you joy or don't bring you good energy, we'll say. Because good energy is pretty broad. That could be like information. That could be entertainment. That could be, whatever it is that you're looking for. But when you're letting people in randomly, it's more likely to develop into something that is out of your control. And that is the main thing, to have as much control as possible in terms of, what you want to see. And then, of course, always challenging you to evaluate the things that you want to see to make sure it's not just mindless entertainment. But I say all that to say I get a fair amount of requests from people I don't already know, which is great. I think it's awesome. And I'll go through, I always do some recon, even if I don't acknowledge that I do some recon, to see a few things: what the person does, the type of quality, the type of posts they make or have made in recent days, I should say, and mutual friends. And oftentimes, there is at least one mutual friend. And one of my first connections or one of my first questions to these individuals is, "Hey, I noticed that you know Jeff Nail. How do you know? How do you know them?" And more often than not, there is no connection to that other person, and it's, at the risk of being dramatic, it is alarming because it's like, why do you want to connect with me when you don't even have a relationship with the mutual connection we have? It's just a strange concept to me, and I just don't understand it. I know that there are potentially benefits. You connect with 5,000 people, and the likelihood of one of those 5,000 people buy something from you or post something that you find value in, but it just seems like a bad ratioed lottery, going at it in that capacity. And I would be open and welcoming to hear other opinions, maybe success stories about how this has, how the opposite of what I'm saying has affected you in a positive way. Um, However, I just can't see it, and I've let people in the past, um, more so on LinkedIn than any other platform, because I was of the other belief at one point when I was first getting started on LinkedIn, just wanting to fish with dynamite, so to speak. And that helped me to learn that LinkedIn, the way that I connected on LinkedIn and the way I chose to connect on Instagram versus how I began connecting on Facebook, because Facebook was one of the first, allowed me to get to the point where I am in terms of how I connect. And it is, what's interesting to me is I have like a boilerplate message that I send out. I'm sure some of you have gotten that boilerplate message. And I make edits to it, based on who's connecting, to, ask a question like, who do you know? Or what made you reach out to me? Or I noticed we're in different states. Whatever the case may be, it is so interesting that people respond to this message. I've had people to get irate and block me because of this message. I've had people to praise the message and ask me if they could use it themselves, which, I mean, like, I get it. Like, you want to use it yourself, but I mean, like, it's okay to create something of your own. It's not like a special message. It's just, a Q&A. And then I get people to say, like, oh, I understand why you'd be apprehensive. And although it can be defined as being apprehensive, I really don't see it as apprehensive, because I truly love to meet new people. However, I mean, again, I guess it goes into the same conversation that I had in terms of treating online like offline. And there's not many instances where you are offline, like say you're at the library and you see someone that interests you. Doesn't have to be romantic, doesn't have to be business, doesn't have to be platonic. You see somebody, or personal. You just see somebody that interests you. There is no point when you go up to that person and say, "Can I have your number?" And they just write down their number and they walk away, and there's no conversation, and then you call them like a week later or whatever the case is. So like the same thing with social media. Like, it's not just like connecting without words. I think that like it truly destroys the impact of potential, with just connecting with people and having no inclination to actually have a conversation. And then what it does is it just waters down the entire network, because once you connect with me, Facebook gives you the people you may know, from my friend list, which and then if that person is just like, almost like a virus, if you will, connecting with everybody and people you may know. So that's my thought process. I don't believe that is necessarily the worst thing, but I feel like we should have some method or some desire or some routine in connecting with people. So when you go on the list of people you may know, click into their profiles, past the picture, and see what they do, see what type of posts they make, see what type of life they share on social media, which is different from the person they are potentially. See what type of things they share, what type of person they are conveying, and make that the determining factor on connecting with that individual. That's my thoughts. I think I was passionate about that. I don't think I said too often or did my Barack Obama pause. So, so I think that was a I just did the pause. But anyway, hey, you all have a great day. I appreciate you listening. That is all that I have today, and I appreciate you tuning in.